got her boots on.
Right here.
The boys keep walking in, almost bumped their head on it. I want to do a how-to video. Yeah, I want to do a how-to video here on. I don't do how-to videos, but I want to do one on chainsaw. I see it's getting popular. Everybody's going around talking about it, so I thought I'd do my own. So Mommy's going to video record me, type of deal, and then we're going.
Get me that there.
Yeah. Get ready to record a thing. All right.
Okay.
All right. I don't know how to start this. I've never done a really how-to video. I've always just hacked a stick and it kind of worked out. You go out to a different area or a different job site or a different employer or different timber, anything, it could change all that. So if somebody in your area is telling you something different than what I'm telling you, they're probably right over me, because what I'm doing is just working for me. Now there's all kind of saw motors you can get, and there's all kind of bar sizes you can get, whatever. It don't matter. There's people that can cut great big timber with a 20-inch bar. There's people that cuts pulpwood with a freaking 36-inch bar. It's a matter of matching the amount of digging you want to do to the amount of horsepower you need and the amount of fat you got on you. Sound good?
That's good.
Okay. People gets into chain sharpening stuff, which is good because my chain's actually dull. You can't really see it, but here's how you can look. Now, mostly I tell when a chain's dull by how the saw feels. But before you walk over the hill and go to using your saw, you can always look down and see if your chain's very dull. Now you see if I can get this right on this tooth right here. You see how right on top of that tooth there's just a little bit of shiny up there. See that little bit of shiny right up on the edge of the tooth coming from the front? Now the most important part of a chisel tooth is just this little bit right up here anyways, but you'll see that line across there, how it's kind of shiny in the front. Well, that is a sign of dull. That means that tooth's rolled over and it's reflecting light like that. Okay, so you can tell by looking at this saw that this saw is dull, just by looking at it. Now, a homeowner might grab it or whatever and think it's sharp, but it's dull. Okay, in a nutshell, I'm not going to get real into detail because this is supposed to be for beginners anyways. In a nutshell, when you back down and look at your tooth, this is a non-luminous. Okay, you see how it's got this gullet in there? Now that's what curls your chip down and carries it back, and your sawdust deflects down, goes back, and then this next tooth pulls it out before it cuts. That's how a chain works basically. But you want that, you don't want your file too low, you don't want it too high. You want that tip. Come on, zoom phone. You want that tip to be right there. Let me get my file out. With a chisel tooth, the factory settings, there's 3 things that are important. And I can't remember my numbers all right. But I think from underneath, from looking at the side, it needs to be where the tooth meets the wood. I think you actually need to be 60 degrees up. From the top, you need to be 30 degrees, 25 or 30 back, I can't remember. And then if you look from the side, you're 15 degrees down. That's how you sharpen a chisel tooth for factory specs. I, for the most part, file for factory specs. I might change it a little bit if I'm in butter cutting poplar pine or something, or if I'm in hard cutting beech rifle. I might vary off of it some, but I don't vary off factory specs much. To get that depth right, a lot of people use tools, and there's nothing wrong with using tools. I use tools once in a while to get myself back in order. Let's see, where's that? And I use a roller guide. I like the roller guide, I really do, because it's quick. I'm always after quick. Anybody watching my videos probably knows that. If your chain is sharp and it all looks right, and it still won't dig, there's a good chance your drags need knocked down. And most people positively will not file without a drag gauge, because that keeps each drag right with each tooth. So a lot of people lives and dies, but now I hodgepodge it because I get in a hurry a lot, and I'll do a lot of free-handed on the drags, just count my strokes, you know. But here's how you do with the gauge, and then you just slide your file across the top and take out anything on the. Wait up, I can get it right and hold this stupid camera. But you see right? Well, that's about right. There's a little bit of sticking up, but not much. But you always want to go easy on your drag. I will come out and say, as you get used to running the saw, you'll find the bar combination and the motor combination that works for you. And that thing, it don't matter what exactly it is. That's a 395 XP. It's not turned up or cranked up or nothing. I've always had bad luck out of turned up saws. And it's got a 28-inch Suji bar on it. It don't matter what you decide you're going to use, it needs to feel good on you. when you're cutting timber, it's got to be like just got to be a part of you. It's got to be something you don't think about. If you're running a weird saw and a weird bar that you're not used to, that's a good way to get yourself hurt. If you're running a dull saw and you're pushing it and wearing yourself out, that can get you hurt. You know, and if you're pissed off at your saw because it ain't doing right, that can get you hurt. So there's a lot of reasons you want your saw just to be a predictable piece of your body. That's all you want. But anyhow, that's just, it don't matter who's running what, and don't try to sit there and recruit everybody to run your shit. It's just, it is what it is. If it feels good on you, then use what feels good on you. But getting a sharp saw is key. That saw needs to always be sharp. If your saw is dull and you're pushing it, stop, fix it. Don't just keep on pushing it and wearing yourself down, because then you're gonna have a bad day at the end of the day. And if you're young and you're testosterone filled timber cutter, it's got a chip on your shoulder or something to prove, I did the same stuff. Don't be hard on your drags. Every young cutter ever picked up a saw behind and got their drags knocked down with a bucket. You know, so go easy on your drags, man. Don't get too crazy on them drags. Take them by ear, you know. Get real careful. You always keep your round file in your flat file. Should be a wrench in here. I got a spare chain in here right now, but then I keep 2 wedges. I mean, everybody's got their own system on wedges. I ain't even gonna try. I like these. I like a hard head wedge, and I like the greens. Now, the only thing a wedge that I don't have here that I really like, I like them dudes. But I don't carry much anymore. Just when you're greener and you need a lot of lift because you misjudging tree here and there, them are nice because they give you that extra lift. And the only reason I really carry 2 wedges now, this here is for really giving her hell and beating hard. And this here is just knifing one over a little bit because they got a good sharp edge. I really like these wedges. If you're not too hard on them, they do good. And for God's sakes, carry a hatchet. If you don't have a hammer to beat your trees over and a hatchet to cut yourself out when you get pinched, and you're relying on that skidder to get you out all day long, everybody on the logging crew is going to hate your guts. So I know you're working harder than everybody else in the crew, but carry that. Carry a hatchet. Now, I've carried this hatchet for years and years and years. It's lucky. It's my lucky hatchet. I made it. I've even busted the head off of it a time or two, believe it or not. But I ain't, since I welded it on there like this, you know, and kind of put some gussets on there with weld. But I use it for a pry bar, to pry up on trees. I just do whatever, what have you. Ran over with a skidder a few times, mashed it down the mud. But you can go out there, but a lot of people buys them. I mean, there's a lot of people that likes the Fiskars and whatever hatchets or whatever. But me, I'm like a bull, so the day I made this I probably made this hatchet in 2004, I think. So it's 12 years I've been using this, and this thing is, I won't cut a tree without this. I keep this with me. This is always close by to me no matter what I'm doing, because it's my lucky hatchet. But I was wearing it the day the tree got my foot, but it was lucky still, because it could have been a lot worse. All right, we'll follow this thing if I can keep my boys back. But the way I follow saw, I set that sucker down there like this. There's a lot of people follows a lot of different ways, but I'm always after speed and production. And I get down just like this, and I put that bar right in my face, and I lay right here where I can put my eyes right on them teeth. It's quick. You always have a log by, or you can do it against a standing tree or whatever. And a lot of people does a lot of different ways, but my way is a productive way. I'm always after getting a wood moved, and this is how I always do it. And you do need to slow down and take your time following your chain, because it always needs to be right. But I always put my face right on the chain. Put your face on that chain so you can see what you're doing exactly with that tooth.
Ow. Right there. Right there.
Eventually, I'll end up having to wear reading glasses to do this, but I ain't that old yet. Just turned 37 this week. Had my birthday this week.
Happy birthday, Wade.
Thank you. Had a hell of a birthday. Everybody blowed up my Facebook. That was awesome.
And your wife made
And
you the
as
best
your,
supper ever.
She made me a good supper?
Yeah.
What did she
Forgot
make me
to
for
thank
supper?
her.
What'd you make me for
Well,
my
obviously it wasn't that good.
Alright, as you're filing, don't file over a tooth that's got oil on it. If you got a tooth with oil on it, get the oil off the tooth. And you know one thing that pisses me off more than anything, if you're filing, don't drag the file backwards. You're just wearing your file out. When you take a positive stroke, pick it up out of the tooth, stroke, pick it up out of the tooth. Don't drag your file backwards across the tooth when you're going on your return stroke. It wears your file out. You see that oil in that tooth?
Yep.
Don't run that file over that oil. Clean that oil off.
Okay.
That's just the way. That's just how you ruin a file. And every once in a while, if you got gloves on, you can take your glove and wipe it on or whatever. But don't drag that file through that oil.
I think you've stressed that.
Okay, I've done it enough? Okay. All right. And see, I'm putting my face right on that sucker. And you're filing that till that shiny stuff is gone off the top of the tooth. And everybody's got their voodoo and stuff they believe in filing a saw, but it's not that complicating. And as you're stroking the file, on your return stroke, always, as a backup, I always spin that file. See how I'm doing this with my fingers?
Mm-hmm.
That way your file wears even. You ain't wearing, you don't want hot spots in your file. And I don't count strokes. I never have done that. And I'm not super duper at keeping my chain even. I'm not super duper at that or nothing. But the most important thing when you're filing the saw is get the dull off. You get the dull off, the rest of that stuff like counting strokes and evening your teeth up and stuff. Look at that, it's got a chunk on it. Evening your teeth up and all that stuff falls lower on the priority list. Number one priority, get your chain sharp. And I'm watching for height and stuff and consistency. Well, there, we made it all the way around on that side. And everybody's got a side they're good at and a side they're not so good at. And on this side, I'm not as good at. This ain't my dominant side. Now there's a tooth that got the corner peeled back, so I'm gonna dig into this tooth a while. And I got a little sharp, I got a little dangle a little off on that tooth. I'll catch it back up on the next filing. But you get your face down on this thing, you can see the shiny on it. You're trying to get that shiny off. Yeah, I see it, Calvin. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Calvi.
Yep.
Mommy had it.
Here's a tooth that's being a little rascal. This tooth, I can tell by the feel, it's not low enough and it's not wasn't straight enough. See that tooth? I got a little messed up. You can see the angle's off a little bit on it. It's not the end of the world. It's a little too steep, so that tooth will dull out before the rest of the teeth. I'll just catch him on the next filing. It's no biggie. And the tooth is sharp. The objective is achieved. See how I'm picking it up out of there? Keeps you from ruining your file. That backstroking ruins the file.
You gonna try to teach me how to do it?
Do what?
You gonna try to teach me how to do it?
Up. Daggone tooth's got oil on it. I'll teach you someday on Mom's saw. That's That's one thing. A man's a
You
woman.
kind of particular about your saw there?
Yes, the timber cutter's chainsaw is very, very personal item to him. You never pick up a timber cutter saw and use it.
Oh, the battery's low.
Well, that's about got the gist of it. I've studied a lot of people filing their saws, and
There's one down there. It's cold, isn't it?
a guy taught me this, and this is the best way I've seen to file a chainsaw. And I've studied a lot of people doing a lot of different ways, but this is quick and effective.
So who taught you?
Roger Hartwick taught me how to file like this.
Oh my gosh. Look at those hands. We need
Oh, that
mat.
baby is acting pathetic. Oh, you can have Daddy's towel.
Go. We thought we could come out of here without getting muddy.
Well, Mommy did. Daddy never. Now, you can look at things and study things all you want. And that's what I'm calling sharp. It feels good enough for me. I didn't waste a lot of time doing it. Got it banged out. But now I go by feel. Now, I don't even know where my drags are. And I ain't even gonna pull that gauge out. But I gotta feel what the saw feels like, and I'll do that later when I go down the woods. But I don't touch them drags or nothing. I go by feel. I don't go by looking. I don't walk up to somebody's chain and start feeling my fingers like I'm some kind of god. Oh, you're sharp, you're dog, you know. Well, you want to see if it's sharp, pick it up, socket a piece of wood, because there's a lot of angles and a lot of things that come together to make a saw sharp or dull, you know. Or make it aggressive or not aggressive, you know. All right. What I try to do here, such a John Deere tractor and wagon. Say, yeah, I have my John Deere tractor and the wagon. Hook them up.
But they don't get along.
Ding!
But they don't get along.
But they don't get along too well because the wagon's a lot bigger than the tractor.
No, because the hook keeps on falling off.
Oh, the hook falls off. The tractor's riding too low. You hear me, boy?
See?
Fucking boy. Fucking boy.
Hello, this is my tractor and wagon.
He's scared of his daddy, I can tell. All right, now the end
That
of
tickles, stupid. That tickles, silly. Okay, now what?
what I did on this video is I put it to where I filed this saw the day of the 10,000 subscriber video, and I'm gonna put a link like in the video or whatever. I probably already got it in this video if it's made it on YouTube, to where you can punch on that link and go to that video, so somebody that actually watched it get filed, if they're actually paying attention and studying it, you can see what the saw actually did after it got filed. So you can see how it got filed, see the angles that it was, and then see it digging in wood
Okay,
afterwards.
bye-bye.
And we've lost Levi. He's uninterested in chainsaw videos. Fine! We didn't want you in the video anyways! Oh, so anyways, like, check out that was the morning of the 10,000 subscriber video, and just check that out, and then you'll see if you're really studying. I've had plenty of people wants to see a larger weight filing video. I don't know why, because I'm nothing special when filing, but so you can see how it digs right after it's filed. Thank you guys for watching. Let me like the comments, and everybody's been participating in the channel. A lot of you all ain't been getting back to the comments too well, but I've been trying to read them best I can, and I guess I'll just say I've got my phone's done blowed up with over 300 comments, so I'm trying to catch up with everybody, but I just don't have time. But I'll eventually get to y'all. Thank you. Thanks for everything, guys. Later on. Hey, slow down there, Hoss. Don't forget to hit them buttons. Later, taters.